I've never played a Spider-Man game.
Disgraceful.
Despite being a PlayStation gamer since PS2. Crazy, I know. But today's the day we're going for the Platinum Trophy on Spider-Man Miles Morales. This trophy took me 22 hours to obtain. A lot of trophies were achieved through the main story, which is where we started. Here in a shopping mall, of all places. Our first introduction to this game was on the back of Rhino and chasing him down, which I have to admit was pretty epic. We unlocked a trophy for this, which led us into the first boss fight of the game, which acts as a mini tutorial. Oh, and we also discovered that Miles has venom powers, apparently. At this point, I was rather impressed considering this wasn't a mainstream title in the franchise. And after we defeat Rhino, Peter then tells us he is leaving to go to Europe and is also nice enough to gift us something before he goes, which this is another trophy. Something I did notice was just how quick we were unlocking these trophies. Even though we had 50 to collect in total, the game was giving them away. After receiving our new suit, I realised we got a trophy if we did mod it. So there is number 4, and it was around this time we got introduced to the Underground on a mission, which was shortly followed by our love interest, who clearly we want to Venom smash. Okay, maybe not love interest, but if you've played the game, then you know. Finn and Miles, who are childhood friends, haven't seen each other in a while, but Miles' mum invites her over for Christmas, which I think this entire scene is a great example of showcasing just how graphically superior this game is, especially when we start looking at the lighting on the Christmas tree. We were then introduced to this app, which has various tasks on from people around the city, one of which involves our uncle, who somehow figures out that we're Spider-Man during our mission to fix the tram lines, which is also caused by the Underground, and we also get introduced to a collectible called Underground Cash. However, we'll come back to this later, as there is a trophy, like all collectibles, for collecting them all. The Underground is a little bit like a bad smell as they come back again, and our next challenge to keeping the city safe doesn't come any easier, as we get stretched more than your mum on a Saturday night to keep this bridge together after an explosion involving Newform, which is apparently a safe energy source which the Underground are trying to steal from Roxxon. And let's just say our venom powers do not mix well with Newform. However, another trophy, so every silver lining. Our next mission has us going after a phone. Holy, this generation is cooked. Okay, it's not that bad. It just had videos which could be important with exposing the truth about Roxxon. After we finished exploring the Roxxon Underground lab and finding out there's actually a few scattered around the city, we got another trophy. A lot happens during this section of the story. To avoid too many spoilers, I won't go into too much detail, but we now join the Underground on a secret undercover 007 type mission.
The name's Bond.
We are spying to see what the Underground is up to, and we then have to escape and get a trophy for doing so. It was past midnight on New Year's Day at this point, so I took a break from the main story and focused on some of the other tasks around the city. Peter had left us with a bunch of training to complete, focusing on traversal, combat, and stealth. We had to get ranked spectacular in all of these to achieve the 3 trophies. During this time, I also got the photo mode trophy, which was easy enough. Just had to mess around with the sticker, and I finally crafted a visor mod, which gave me another 2 trophies, and there was 5 very easy trophies to complete in total. Each category during training had 3 different challenges. Completing all of these challenges gave us another trophy, and I'm gonna be honest, these are pretty easy apart from the first stealth challenge, which was really frustrating. We then got given a final test by Pete, which is a nod to his own battles. Completing this gave us our 7th trophy in the line of all of these. However, during each of these challenges, we did get to complete certain special moves or get taught certain special moves. And I think you can tell, although there is 50 trophies in this game, a lot of them are just for fun and there isn't too much challenge to unlock them. Invisible Spider was an easy one, only having to defeat 50 enemies whilst camouflaged. Same with Overcharge, which was to defeat enemies with our venom abilities. Up and Over and From Downtown were 2 trophies, which just required the special moves I've mentioned to unlock. And Nowhere to Hide was just to perform 100 stealth takedowns. Back to the story, and we end up in a city chase with the Tinkerer. After she finds out we double cross them, we get rewarded for this chase with a lovely trophy at the end of it. Did someone say boss fight, as Rhino is back, and funny enough, we work with the Tinkerer this time to defeat Rhino, and we get another trophy for doing this. This was actually a decent boss fight and one I enjoyed, although he meets a very bad end, should we say. The next boss fight happens pretty soon after, but this time we are taking on the Prowler. This was overall quite an easy boss fight, however his ability to clone himself made it a little bit annoying, but it was a simple boss fight overall and one we got another trophy for. This all happens before we head into a flashback mission with Finn, during which you will even bump into some familiar faces too. Beating Finn at this game here also unlocked as a trophy, and we managed to get the 100 times combo trophy, which I've been trying to do all game long, and completing this mission also gave us a trophy, which meant we earned 3 extra trophies to our list. We move on to the final boss fight of the game against the Tinkerer, and this entire scene, including the end, was honestly amazing. The final fight was 100% more challenging than all the other boss fights, but overall, the story came to an end with an absolute bang, and I can really see why so many people love the Spider-Man games, as there wasn't really many criticisms I could provide, and that final boss fight rounded everything up with just pure awesomeness. Next up is the cleanup, but first we had to complete the game on New Game Plus. I'm personally very much against these kind of trophies, which put me off the platinum originally, but we grinded it out and here's the trophy for it. Doing this gave us a special spider suit too, which we needed to complete all the spider suits trophies. A lot of these suits we do actually unlock during the cleanup for the rest of the video. We now start to really get onto some strange trophies, such as having to go through this social feed after the game was completed. Here's a trophy. I then went on a bit of a quick fire trophy unlock session, taking down all the underground hideouts and shutting down all the Roxxon labs. During this, I went looking for all the underground cash, as this could be found in the hideouts, and we also went undetected in one of the bases, which gave us a 4th trophy. Surprisingly, we only failed at that once too. Our mum left us a postcard hunt, which provided a bit of backstory to our dad and also gave us memory lane. Another collectible to give you backstory was the time capsules, which Finn and Miles had hid around the city. I really liked the way the collectibles gave you a reason to collect them, providing backstory, especially if you're like me and love side stories in games. However, Uncle Aaron missions, they were terrible. I was not a big fan of these sound waves. I loved hearing more about his backstory and his life as a Prowler, but the overall tasks themselves weren't too great. Back to the time capsules, one was hidden on a boat in southern Chinatown, another very random trophy, and on our adventures we also paid respect at Jefferson Davis's grave and unlocked best fries in town for paying our respects to a legend in Upper West Side. The one thing I wish this game had was proper storyline side quests. The closest we got to this was the criminal conspiracy in Harlem, which saw us unlock the winter suit, which I absolutely love. With our phone, we had many jobs and crimes to solve as well. Crime Master saw us having to complete all the bonus objectives, and 5-star review meant we had completed all the FNSM app requests. Doing all this would give us another trophy called A New Home, which meant we had 100%ed all of the districts. Throughout New Game Plus, there's 3 things that we could do. We unlocked all of the skills because you got access to a few extra levels in New Game Plus. Linking back to all the app and the crime completion, it meant we could do at least 10 upgrades, which gave us another trophy. And something Uncle Aaron or the Prowler gives us is the remote mine, and we had to kill 50 enemies with the remote mine, which we did complete. This left us with 2 more trophies to go at. These were going to be quite difficult as we needed to do ceiling takedowns and wall takedowns, both of which I had not been doing throughout the game. The best way and most efficient way I found for doing this was just redoing the Roxxon labs. So first of all, we ticked off the 25 wall takedowns, and something that confused me originally, but I understood it eventually, was doing the 25 ceiling takedowns. Took a little bit longer, however, doing this meant we finally unlocked the platinum, and that was 50 trophies unlocked for Spider-Man Miles Morales. This became my 11th platinum trophy in total on my account, and what a game to do it on. I highly recommend Spider-Man Miles Morales. It was an epic final battle. The game overall was really good, and it's definitely encouraged me to now play Spider-Man 1 and 2. Which should I play? Let me know in the comments. Would you like to see that? If you did enjoy as well, make sure you like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that a lot. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next plat.